This volcano is 4,420 meters tall, which is almost 15,000 feet. And this tennis court is at an altitude of 2,780 meters, just over 9,000 feet. This is where I will be playing for the next 3 weeks, and it's definitely the toughest conditions I've ever played in. It was not going to be easy. The ball would literally fly all over the place with a small swing. It would bounce very high, and it would overall be difficult to control. This was going to be my first real swing of tournaments this year. They were ITF 15K events. I took some time off in the winter to deal with my wrist injury, which happened in late December. It was my upper wrist this time, and that shortened my preseason by quite a bit. I went to Monastery to play a 15K event in late January, but after qualifying, I caught a bad cold, giving me a high fever, and had to retire from my main draw match, as I was very weak and couldn't stop coughing. Now I was all healed and couldn't wait to play some proper tennis. This year I'll try to document more of the behind the scenes of these tournaments that I'll be playing, and bring you more vlog as well, so let me know if you enjoy this extra footage. Mexico is not exactly around the corner from Italy, so it was quite the trip. I got there a few days early. Obviously needed that time to get adjusted to the conditions, the different time zone, the food, and so on. They honestly had a great setup there. It was very spacious, many courts, easy to find practice courts, and well organized, which is not a given in these tournaments, let me tell you. I got onto main draw for the first tournament, so I had an extra couple of days to practice to really understand the best tips and tricks to do well in these conditions. Did both some drills as well as serve and return, and then obviously tons of points. I was also able to get a few good workouts in, which if I was to play qualies, I wouldn't have had the time to do.
I also thought to hop on the trend and buy these nose strips, you know, just with the altitude I thought maybe more oxygen. They definitely open up your nose, and you can breathe better for sure, let me tell you that. Like, just putting it on, you can breathe 100% better. I don't know how much it's going to help me on the court, but I thought, you know, with the high altitude, it might be something that can give me a hand.
The draw came out and I was playing a Mexican wildcard, Diego Bustamante, second match on. Just wanted to show you guys before my match what I like to have for breakfast, how much protein especially. So I have my omelette here with ham and bacon. Then I typically have some bread with ham and cheese, although they don't have that here, so I use jam or butter. Coffee obviously, and finally some Greek yogurt with mixed in protein. So overall it's around 25 grams of protein for the omelette, maybe 10 for the bread, and the Greek yogurt is around 20 plus 30 added ones. So in total that's about 85 grams of protein, which is quite a lot. Going into this match I had 3 things in my mind I was focusing on, that I picked up from days of training here. The first one was to stay grounded as much as possible with my feet, as it was easy to lose control of the ball when jumping around too much. The second thing was to play the forehand a bit more close stance than usual. I found out in these conditions that also helps keep the ball in. And the third thing was to keep return swings very short, especially on the forehand side. Anyway, let's jump into my first round now. As I said, I was playing a Mexican wildcard, so definitely a good chance to kind of get used to the court and conditions, and getting a feel for what it means to play an actual match here. And it actually went pretty well once it was a straightforward match. Obviously, serve was very important. You really had to serve very well to lead the point, and at this altitude, if you take control of the point, it's really difficult for the opponent to flip it. But yeah, my opponent wasn't too aggressive really with speed or depth, so I was able most of the time to be the one in control, and had time to place myself well and hit my shots. I get a double break lead pretty early, and again it's looking quite simple when serving well. Also sorry for the camera angle these few points, the camera moved but it'll be fixed in a second. As you can see 5-0 now, and I'm being aggressive with the return as well. And really a good match honestly to try out what works here in the different types of returns, ground strokes, getting confident in approaching and coming to the net and so on. So yeah, smooth sailing until the end. I ended up winning the match 6-0, 6-0. I was feeling good ahead of my next round. I had a day in between my first and second round, so I obviously hit a few balls, but also took the day to rest and do some recovery. Now my opponent was 3rd seed Jacob Brum, ranked 617 in the world, so definitely a very good player. I've actually played him before a couple years back and lost to him in straight sets, so I knew a little bit of his game and was determined to win this one. I played him in totally different conditions, at sea level, but I remember he would be aggressive if I played slow or short, so I knew that I still had to try and dictate, and once again serving well was going to be the key in these courts. Obviously to do that my footwork absolutely had to be on point, once again focusing on being grounded and not moving around too much while hitting. Otherwise, this was gonna happen. One shot that I saw was working well in training and I could swing almost freely on was a short angle forehand to push him outside. It felt much easier than a down the line, for example. Looking for a hold this first game, as he misses the forehand to give me that. He wasn't too good of a server, so going in, I knew that especially in second serve, I had chances to move him around and try to put some pressure on him. I just had to be very focused on making the return, because a lack of focus and you could easily miss it. Starting off, I felt more comfortable rallying on the backhand side, but clearly he did too. 1-0, and as you can see here, I look for that forehand I was talking about earlier to push him out, so that I have more time and then open court for the down the line. Picking up my serve placement definitely helped at this stage. I was able to hold easily, and now looking to put pressure, and this backhand just lands on the line last second. He ends up holding serve though, so I didn't want to give him chances on mine. This game was important as I got to deuce and felt some chances. A pretty long rally for these conditions, and at the end he misses. First break point of the match. He aces me at deuce. And then we play off his second serve the next point, but another backhand miss. No worries though, still on my serve and feeling well. My first serve was very good that day, and that made things a lot easier. As I'm looking to close the game, I hit my first double fault though. Luckily I cancel out with an ace the next point. Looking to keep the lead here. And I noticed as the match went on, he was missing a little bit more on the forehand side, so I was targeting there now. The next game I'm up below 30. Need to make the most of the chance, and he gives the free forehand miss. Big serve to the body to save the first one. And an ace T next. On the third try I get a chance of his second serve. And another run forced by him to go up 5-3. And then after playing a really solid game, I'm able to take the first set home, 6-3. He served with new balls this set, so you'll see now the rallies get much shorter. The balls fly a lot more. That was also an advantage for my serve though. 15-all here, and big gift by him as he misses this ball. At 15-30 he double faults. Next point I hit the biggest shank of the match though. And at 30-40 I miss the return. He gets up to game point and I miss once again. It's trickier than it looks to make these returns, on the forehand especially, at least for me, so it's not uncommon for comebacks to happen in these games. 30-15 here, don't want to get in the danger zone. He plays well and my forehand slips deep. Very good serve at 30-all to save the day. And another solid T-serve to go 2-2. He's definitely had momentum a bit more on his side, at least these last couple games, so I had to really dig in and make sure I was staying focused this phase of the match. 15-30 and a double fault to get to 2 break points. And another one at 15-40 to take the break. I knew how much it was important to consolidate the break straight away now. He was playing better up until that terrible last game he played, so I had to stay on top to kill his confidence completely. I find myself at deuce here though, and as you can hear, pumping myself up after a good serve. With this kind of score, it's important you don't give chances to your opponent, so I was making sure mentally I was staying tough too. But it's yet another forehand shank. Luckily, I ace him next to have the advantage once again. With a pair of good serves, I ended up taking that game, so now I could play at least with a little less pressure this game, while still trying to put pressure on him, obviously. Four 3 30-15. Great start of this game. Playing physical points like those with great shots were really good for my courage and confidence in this phase. And I'm able to be aggressive once again and take the point home. Another ace. Honestly, I don't think I've ever hit that many aces in my life. Build myself a chance at this point and close it with this rare forehand, almost full swing, and it's 15-30. Fast forward to deuce though, and off of my return he goes for the winner but just slightly misses. The forehand's out, so that's a match. 6-3, 6-3. My best win of the year. Again, his rank was 617 ATP, and in tough conditions too, so I was really happy with that match. I think I played the correct tennis. I say true to my identity, which I think is an essential part for every tennis player. Even if you guys are watching, that's what you should always strive to do. But I was also smart in adjusting to the conditions in some situations, especially in defense and on returns. Now I was on to the quarterfinals of this 15k event, so that was already 2 ATP points in the bag, which helped my ranking, and a great chance to go deep in the tournament. Stay tuned for my next video as I will be playing to earn a spot in the semifinals. And let's just say that match was very eventful.